I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. So in our last reading, we read in 2 Kings chapter 13 about the beginning of the reign of Joash in Israel. And there'll be a period of 2 or 3 years in which Joash and Joash are king of Israel and king of Judah, both have the same name. It is also during this time that Elisha dies. Joash reigned 16 years in Israel, and sometime during his reign, Elisha dies. I think it was probably somewhat early on, but we aren't given exact dates for it. Just sometime during his reign. It's probably after, however, it is probably after the death of Joash in Judah. So we're going to return now. This is going to be 2 Kings chapter 14, and this will talk about the reign of the kings in Judah. Now, this video, we will read only the first 7 verses. Chapter 14, Amaziah reigns in Judah. Israel defeats Judah in battle. Jeroboam reigns in wickedness in Israel. Okay, Amaziah. In the 2nd year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, reigned Amaziah, the son of Joash, king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoadan of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, yet not like David his father. He did according to all things as Joash his father did. Howbeit the high places were not taken away, as yet the people did sacrifice and burnt incense on the high places. So he's not quite as good as David. He is as Joash when Joash was a righteous king. Remember, Joash started as a righteous king, but when the high priest Jehoiada died, he fell into idol worship. And eventually murder, and Joash was killed in a conspiracy by his servants. So Amaziah becomes king, and he is as good as Joash was when Joash was a righteous king. Not as good as David was when David was righteous, but as good as Joash was when Joash was righteous. Now, just looking at the timeline here, I just want to point this out. So he's 25 years old when he became king. Now, Joash he reigned for 40 years. He was 47 when he died, which means he was 22 when Amaziah was born. Now, he reigns for 29 years, it says, which means that he will be 54 when he dies. But it also, began to reign in the 2nd year of Joash of Israel, and Joash of Israel reigned for 16 years, so we have 14 years when Joash is king, while Amaziah is king. That leaves us 15 years that Amaziah will be king after Joash in Israel dies. So, anyways, I know the timeline can be a little confusing as we're looking at it, because we're not looking on it on the timeline. We're not saying, this is this, this is this, this is this. No, we're trying to piece it together through the clues of the text. Anyways, let's finish these verses out. Verse 5. And it came to pass, as soon as the kingdom was confirmed in his hand, that he slew his servants which had slain the king his father. But the children of the murderers he slew not, according to that which is written in the book of the law of Moses, wherein the Lord commanded, saying, The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, nor the children be put to death for the fathers, but every man shall be put to death for his own sin. He slew of Edom in the valley of Salt 10,000, and took Selah by war, and called the name of it Joktheel unto this day. So okay, his first act as king, very first thing he does, is to execute the servants that conspired to kill his father. But as it points out, he very specifically stays with the law of Moses and does, and which would have been a common thing in almost any other country, any other kingdom at this time, is that if I conspire and kill the king, then me and all my children get executed. My family is destroyed because I conspired against the king. Not so in Israel. And Azariah is very, very careful to follow this law. Amaziah. Azariah was in Israel. These names get confusing. But Amaziah is very careful to follow this law. But we also get this very brief mention of a war with Edom, where now Edom is kind of south and east of Judah. And they go to war, they conquer the city, they rename the city, and we have this great victory. One verse to describe it. We don't know when this happened within his reign, and he's reigning for 29 years. Sometime in that 29 years, we have this. Now, it's probably early on, because it's mentioned at the same time. His first act as king is to kill the conspirators. His next act as king is to go against Edom. So probably within the first few years, this happens. But we're going to leave that here. And we will pick this up, continue our readings of the reign of Joash in Israel and Amaziah in Judah. So I'll see you there.